How did the Weasleys discover the password to the Marauders Map? I mean, we see Snape with it, trying different magical means and normal password phrases, and nothing works. In fact, the map just insults him for his efforts. So how did the Weasleys manage to figure it out? Did they just guess random phrases until they found the right one? I mean, I solemnly swear that I am up to no good doesn't exactly roll off the tongue. So I don't think that's it. Well, I dug into this issue, and I believe I found a possible answer. And that is that this map is actually a little more sentient than we're giving it credit for. And that the phrase, "I solemnly swear that I am up to no good," is not actually a password at all.
Go on.
But first, the sentience. In the magical world, we see so many examples of things that are sentient, that have a mind of their own that otherwise wouldn't. The car that's enchanted to fly also suddenly ends up with a personality. When Ron and Harry crash at Hogwarts, the car has had enough, and it expels them from the sides and takes off to live its own life in the Forbidden Forest. Wizard's chess, you see lines of sentient little soldiers, each with their own ideas on the way the battle should go, each trying to argue with the person playing the actual game. And the Sorting Hat itself, it goes on the heads of these students and talks to them in their minds, and tries to make a decision on its own as to what house the student should go into. And every single wizard wand is known to have some sort of decision-making capabilities. The wand chooses the wizard is constantly thrown around. And this idea of ownership by the wands comes from some degree of sentience on the wand's part. So the idea that the Marauders Map could also have some level of sentience, it would make sense. Magical items tend to have a little bit of an intelligence to them. We see a degree of that sentience when Professor Snape is trying to access the map's secrets. Instead of revealing itself and succumbing to his demands, it chooses instead to insult him. It chooses to say, Mr. Mooney presents his compliments to Professor Snape and begs him to keep his abnormally large nose out of other people's business. Mr. Prongs agrees with Mr. Mooney and would like to add that Professor Snape is an ugly git. Mr. Padfoot would like to register his astonishment that an idiot like that ever became a professor. Mr. Wormtail bids Professor Snape good day and advises him to wash his hair, the slime ball. I mean, was the map programmed to have that exact response? Clearly not. I doubt that it would be able to have that response known ahead of time. The map was deciding to respond to Professor Snape in that way, in a way that's very specific to Snape, but also very, very specific to him being a professor. So this is something that the Marauders could not have planned in advance. The map chose to respond in this way. But there's more to it than just its choice on how to respond to Snape. It is specifically speaking for each of the individual Marauders. It is giving a quote from each of them in response to Snape. This tells us that there's not just a sentience in the map itself, but more specifically, there's a little bit of the sentience of those 4 Marauders in there. It has some of them contained within it. And we have seen this before in Tom Riddle's diary. That diary contains a memory of Tom Riddle and his adventures with the Chamber of Secrets. He stored some of his memories in the diary. Now, the diary is also a Horcrux, and that's what allows it to have the chance of coming back to life. But the fact that the memories are stored therein is not from the Horcrux. The memories are part of the magic of the diary. And I think something similar was done with the Marauders Map. The 4 Marauders have stored part of their memories into this map. We know that the map doesn't contain the exact entire layout of Hogwarts. It's missing some key areas. The Chamber of Secrets isn't there. The Room of Requirement is missing. There's some things that are missing from the map. And I think this is a sign that this is not just a recording of the exact complete layout, but it's specifically the memories of what the Marauders found during their time at Hogwarts. They were troublemakers that liked to sneak around. And in part of their adventures, they were trying to find all the secrets contained within the castle. And they put the memories of what they discovered about the castle's layouts, about the hidden corridors and the hidden passageways, about how to access and use those passageways. It's all recorded within the map. The map is their memories of exploring the castle. So anything they did not discover is simply missing from the map. Then with their memories in the map, they then cast the homunculus charm. This charm allows items to be imbued with the ability to track all the people traveling through an area. With their memories of the school contained within this map and the homunculus charm cast upon it, it is then tracking all the people traveling around through the area that they had explored, which results in the Marauders Map. But the map being a containment device for some of their memories gives it a little more power than just a normal magical map. It allows the map to make some decisions. And part of those decisions comes up with the Weasleys. You see, the way the map was made, the memories that are contained, and the reason it was built are very important when trying to determine how it would respond to Professor Snape and how it would respond to the Weasley twins. This map was built to be a toolbox for the Marauders as they are seeking to cause mischief throughout the school. It is for them to use when they are up to no good. And as such, the map would imbue some of that within itself. Its personality would be built around the idea of wanting to cause a bit of mischief. As such, when Professor Snape is pointing at the map with his wand and trying to force it to reveal its secrets, it's going to say no. It is the type of object that is not going to want to listen to a professor. It is going to look to disobey. And it's going to tease him, make fun of him in response. I'm guessing that the Weasleys started with a very similar idea. They have this magical object that they don't know how to use. So naturally, they're going to try some of the common phrases and some magic to try and get it to reveal its secrets. And I'm going to guess that the Marauders Map insulted them in a similar way. Now, it may just be specific to Snape because the Marauders themselves hated Snape. So it could be a specific response to him. But the Marauders were also a bit of troublemakers themselves in their entirety. So I think when the Weasleys start trying to access the map's going to push them aside and say, no, we're not going to reveal our secrets. And it's going to have some snide remark for them as well. But the difference is how they respond to those remarks. Snape got angry, which is kind of what the map wanted. I think the Weasleys would respond by teasing it back. They would respond as kindred spirits to this personality contained within the map. They would tease back and forth and have a dialogue with the map. They would try different phrases, they'd talk with the map, and eventually they would come upon something that they could say to it that would appeal to exactly what it was built for. They would be talking about what they are looking to do, why they want to use it. And they would come up with the phrase, "I solemnly swear that I am up to no good." And the map would love it. The map would hear this phrase and say, okay, I'm convinced. This is somebody that I can latch onto. Let me reveal my secrets so you can do what I was built to do. Be up to no good. With this phrase finally revealing the map's contents, with this phrase finally building that connection between the troublemaking Weasley twins and the troublemaking map, they would then make a note that this is the password to access the map. And when they pass it on to Harry, and he's able to access the map with the same phrase, well, the map already knows this is the type of person that I want to connect with. And they would listen to Harry as well. And when the Weasleys are done with their mischief, and they're trying to get the map to go away, the map doesn't want to end its journey until it knows that its goal was reached. And so the Weasleys might say, okay, we're done. And the map would be like, no, let's continue. We need to finish this mischief. The Weasleys would try different phrases until they say, hey map, the mischief was managed. And then the map closes. Because the map is now satisfied with what has been done. And the Weasleys make another note that mischief managed is the way to close the magic of the map. And with that, the Weasleys discovered the secret to the map, not through passwords as they thought, but through making a connection with finding the phrases that will appeal to the map's personality, with convincing the map that through them, it can once again be up to no good.